I'm Mehr Mansuri, the artistic director of the Children's Theatre Company. I'm also the writer and co-composer of Henry Box Brown, The Musical Journey.
My name is Eric Dozier. I am a cultural activist. I'm a music educator. And I'm also one of the composers of some of the music that you will hear in the musical Henry Box Brown.
My name is Michelle Chamblin, and I have served as the Diversity and Inclusion Officer for Henry Box Brown during the time that the 3 weeks that we are in Greenacre.
The themes of our production company is about looking at social justice imperatives from the world of storytelling and actually looking at theater as a tool for moral reasoning. And how can we actually do that? So what we realized very quickly is that we cannot minstrelize and memorize any social justice imperative, let alone Black history, let alone on Black History Month, and kind of treat it as one of the flavors of American history instead of American history. Creating an opportunity for meaningful conversation and leading conversation into meaningful social action, and hopefully the real sense of empowerment spiritually and empowerment physically in the communities and in the world we live, and recognizing the power that young people have, but also the power of the arts and the power of the artist, who no longer has to look at just escapist entertainment for the joy of it, but an entertainment and a story that hopefully actually engages our communities as real stakeholders and not bystanders or just being entertained. And that really began the opportunity to work with Dr. Michelle Chamblin, Eric Dozier.
The reason I do the work that I do, and the reason why I feel like we need to be speaking to racial issues today is because it is literally tearing the world apart.
And we're trying to make changes, but sometimes we gotta go back a little bit and understand the roots. If you don't understand the roots, you trying to chop down a tree, it's just gonna keep growing. We got to get to the root of this racism.
We're gonna use the theater as a tool for moral reasoning and being very mission-centered in that approach. We knew that our performances had to go beyond a 2-hour event or a 2-hour show and tell. And God forbid, a dog and pony show of what is really the catastrophic history that America has to bear. So we thought one of the ways to do that is to see the communities that we are engaged with, as well as the artists that we partner with.
I originally started working with Henry Box Brown some years ago, where I implemented the after show workshop. So this was a workshop that we conducted after the show to deepen some of the themes and to have a conversation about race, but in a facilitated way. The workshop was very interactive, and we did this workshop various different ways to see what would work as far as audience engagement, talking about how we can apply some of this information from the play, from the musical. What's this application to our lives? But furthermore, what is this application in healing this major problem we have in this country with race and racism?
So this idea of reflection and idea of collecting our learning is in the DNA. We're here to reflect, to learn, to foster a culture of learning, and to turn it into action, not by just actors, but audiences and families and communities.
During these last 3 weeks, we've had workshops done by Eric Dozier and then mindfulness workshops, and it's to connect that information to help the actors really go deep and understand the actual characters that they're portraying, to understand the traditions, to understand the history, and to hopefully bring to life the message, and to understand the sacredness of what they're doing on the stage, as far as not only entertaining, but sparking a new way of looking at things and sparking a momentum in honoring the past in a way that gives us courage and strength to move on to the future in a different way.
You know, we should never underestimate the power of our stories to create or destroy a worldview. These stories really do have the power to shift thinking. And I think that it is also essential that we begin to see everyone beyond just kind of this monolithic way. You know, there is no one way to be white. There is no one way to be black. We should take every opportunity that we can to express the full range of our possibility as human beings.
It is important for children to understand their history. It's important for all of us to understand our history. As an American society, there has been some ugly truths that have been buried that are haunting us. So the ghosts of the past always come up. We see it now.
How soon should we start talking to our children about race? You know, they begin to form these different perceptions very early on in their lives. We should start teaching them about the oneness of humanity, about justice and about equity and all of these things as soon as we can. And now that doesn't mean that we take out the most difficult volume on anti-blackness or on racism or discuss white fragility with the kids and blah, 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 because there are so many other ways that we can engage children around these issues. Like children's theater does, we engage young people with music, with art, with dance, with drama, so that they can understand that they actually can begin to do something. And we begin to shift their understanding so that by the time they are, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, they've already been in the conversation. There are ways that we can begin to have these conversations that bestow agency upon our young people so that they know that they don't have to wait around for adults to get it right.